Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next in the series of Voices Unleashed. I am beyond excited to be in the presence of greatness today in the shape and form of beautiful Manuela Berchtold. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, Nikki.
Yeah. So, who comes from a Swiss German background, but she's actually true blue Aussie, speaks fluent German, which really speaks to my heart. I'm half German as well. And this woman is absolutely incredible. She won Citizen of the Year for the Snowy Mountain region in Australia last year. She is an Olympic athlete and has also taken out a big prize for her fitness center as well. I'm going to let her just give you a little bit of her background and all her great achievements, and then we can get down to the nitty gritty of what we're here to talk about, which is really about, what it is to be a high achiever, and how today is just the timing is so good for people to start stepping up and speaking up, not only in their own lives with, business as well, but around health. And Manuela's all around health and really empowering yourself and other people on how to take back control of the way that you're aging and the way that you earn money, maybe, but like the power is back in our hands, and it's super exciting. And I know Manuela shares my passion for this. So welcome, Manuela. I'm beyond excited to have you here.
Oh, Nikki, thank you so much. And what an introduction. I feel very honored that you've asked me to come on your podcast today and be interviewed by you. I think you are absolutely fabulous. And I've loved getting to know you a little better over the last couple of months. So my background is my parents are from Switzerland. They actually were both ski instructors traveling around the world. When they met in Canada, they got married in Vegas 55 years ago and moved to Australia. And so my brother and I grew up in this beautiful, sleepy little mountain town in Jindabyne in the Snowy Mountains. So we've got a beautiful lake, beautiful mountains, and we were on snow the minute we could be. So I started skiing just after I turned 2, and my brother before he was even 2. So we grew up in this amazing country sort of life. And having Swiss parents, we traveled a lot. So we were back and forth to Switzerland to see our family. And as you mentioned before, our first language was Swiss German. So it's been really great as becoming an athlete and traveling around the world more and more. Being able to speak 2 languages fluently, getting around is very easy. And when you do speak a couple of languages, as you know, you tend to pick up on other languages a little bit easier. And so sometimes I find myself in France and Italy, and I can ask for directions, and I can sort of make out a bit of a conversation, and it feels a little bit better. But yeah, I grew up here in Jindabyne and was an athlete up until 2006 when I retired and started business. So 19 years ago, I started in the world of business. And that's, I think, sort of what has led us here. So lots and lots to talk about, and I'm happy to go with whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I think you've glossed over one of your biggest achievements. So let's just go back to that and talk about the Olympics. I have known other Olympic athletes in my time, and it really takes something to get that, to that high level. Um, just share with us, what you competed in and where, and in which sport were you representing Australia for?
Yes, of course. I was a mogul skier. So, in the discipline of freestyle skiing. So, most people might know aerials, moguls. And then back when I started, there was also ballet, so ski ballet. And
Really?
they later tried to call it ski acrobatic to try and get it passed as an Olympic sport in 98. But unfortunately, it was another judged sport and it fell on its head. But
Oh,
what it was basically picture ice skating on snow with long poles, short skis, and we used to flip and jump and choreograph routines to music.
oh,
So,
wow.
so when I started out as a freestyle skier, our men and women equally did this sport. And my brother and I both started out in the combined event. So we used to do moguls, aerials, and ballet. And I laugh now and we have a bit of a laugh about it and go, oh my God, it was so old school. But it really helped us with edge control, learning how to use every part of our ski when we'd come in and do axles or flips or spins and twists. So it's kind of funny to think back on it, but it really was a great additive to freestyle and learning how to sort of hone in on your skills better. Moguls, which we ended up both focusing on, is the bumps and the jumps. So you ski down a field of moguls fast. It's usually around 30 seconds is the course, and there's two jumps. And when I was at the start of my career, we could only do upright aerials. And I had just missed out on the 98 Olympics, so I probably should.
Right, what does
So
upright areas? What's that
yeah,
mean?
so we could only stay upright. We could not go inverted.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so at the
Yeah.
start of my career, it was all upright aerials, which was all like sort of, you could do 360s, you could do, some of the
Oh,
guys were doing 720s, but you had to keep your head upright. Then, so that was 98 Olympics. I just missed out. I was on the training team. I'd kind of just met the qualification and I blew my knee out, unfortunately. I was 17 at the time and totally bummed and thinking, oh my God, I've missed my first Olympics in Nagano in Japan. And then it just made me really hungry to train for Salt Lake City in 2002. So that was when I first represented Australia at the Olympics. I'd been representing Australia for a number of years on the World Cup circuit and a couple of world championships, which was really, really great. Junior worlds and things like that throughout my time. 2002 was my first Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. And that was the Olympics where we were only allowed to go upright. And we never wore helmets back then. So it was no helmets and upright. And then fast forward 4 years to my retirement event, which was Torino in Italy, 2006 Olympics, we all wore helmets and we were allowed to flip. So then I started doing a front flip and a back flip in the moguls. So it was crazy to be in such an evolution of the sport. So I feel really grateful that I was there at that time.
yeah, yeah. So you're a disruptor as well, aren't you?
I try to be everywhere I go. So I
Good.
was one of the first girls in the world to be doing a front flip in the moguls, which was pretty special at the time. Mm.
It's giving me like, oh, like a mixture of butterflies and goosebumps just listening to that. What does it feel like flying through the air? Like you really have to back yourself, don't you? You have to kind of, what does it feel like
Yeah,
if
you
you,
can't come in scared. You cannot come in scared. Obviously, there's always an element of, I think, a little bit of nervousness or that tiny, tiny fear, but it can't outweigh your knowledge of the skills that you have or your belief in yourself for doing that, whether it's in business or whether it's in sport, the belief in yourself and knowing that you've actually trained, not just believing, but you've done the work, you've trained, you've put in the hours, which is something I always did. I was a very compliant, very diligent athlete. And I wasn't the most, like, I was talented. I've always been talented on snow. I've been on snow, since I could walk, and I had, parents who've been on snow. But then the work ethic comes a long way. And, you're in a field of, people who can go to the world championships, go to the Olympics, go to World Cup. And on any given day, probably 10 people out of that field could win on that day. So you've got to be on your game.
mm. I love what you just said. Don't come in scared. I mean, you could take that analogy into anything in life and in business, right? Maybe that could be the title of your book or something. I don't know. Which kind of leads me on to my next question is around what does it take to have a winning mindset in anything in life? Someone like you who's had such high achievement, and we'll come on to your business in a minute, but just being so young and competing in the Olympics like that at such a high level with the top people in the world, where does a winning mindset come from? Is it something you have to work on? Is it something you're born with? What's that about?
Look, I always love this question because I think that in everything I do, I portray myself in a winning mindset. So we can look at winning mindset in different ways. And it's a difference between cockiness and confidence. So a winning mindset isn't that you're never going to fail, because I failed plenty of times and I still have a winning mindset. I am very, very, very lucky that I've grown up with the most supportive, beautiful parents. And they are still around, which is amazing. So I have an 81-year-old mother, an 89-year-old father, and they're fit, they're strong. They come to my gym daily. My mum rides downhill mountain bikes still. We ski together as a family. My brother, who is 2 years younger than me, we've all been very fit, healthy our whole lives. And so when we were younger, I think taking it back to your initial question of where does it come from? For me, I grew up having these parents instilling confidence in us and saying, give everything a go, have a go. It doesn't matter if you're not good at it, give it a go and believe in yourself. And I always sort of had that try again. If it doesn't work the first time, try again. So any sort of harebrained idea I've always had in my life, whether it's being an athlete, whether it's businesses, all sorts of things, my parents have always encouraged that winning mindset into me. So I think it comes from a great support network, and I've always had great coaches around me. And I've always tried to surround myself with positivity. I know that I walk away, and I've gotten much better at this as I get older and more confident, but I'm better at removing myself from negative situations. And you don't need to be around it, just put yourself in positive places where people don't always need to see your vision or really understand it. But if they're there being positive and you feel that positive energy, because I'm a big believer about energy. Energy is contagious, and we pick up what we put out, and the vibrations and the energy, and you've got to be aware of it. And if we put ourselves in that negative situation, sometimes we can get stuck in negative situations. We've all been there. I've been there as well. We need that overriding, I think, belief in ourselves, that positivity, the energy, that, as you call it, the winning mindset, to pull ourselves out of it and move on from anything like that. So I think I've always had that inner belief that I can do anything.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. And for people who are listening, and certainly you've experienced it and I've experienced it, if you take yourself on in life, in business, that whole process of transformation involves, like you said, surrounding yourself with positive people, or people who are, I love calling it, people who are up to stuff as well, who inspire me. And it may involve, letting go of some people that no longer serve you, or situations or relationships or whatever that are going to suck your energy. We were talking about this. I did some, rah 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 stuff for the new year in one of my calls, and it's also about setting yourself a standard, like setting yourself a new standard and growing into a new identity, so that you have non-negotiables. So I love everything you're saying. And transitioning, because I'm sure you can only do that sport for so long before, like you say, your knees blow out. And how are your knees these days, by the way? And they're okay.
They're good. They've been through their own journey.
I'm sure you're like the bionic woman. You've probably got a few, I imagine, bit of titanium in you or something. I don't know. Or they just fixed you.
Do you know what? I will talk to that. As an athlete, I think there's always going to be injuries, as a competitive high-level elite athlete, you've got to expect certain injuries. And I, unfortunately, was the person that had knee injuries. I didn't have back injuries, neck injuries, anything else, no shoulders, no things like that, but knees was my thing. Yeah. So I had my first ACL reconstruction in 97, because that's when I missed the 98 Olympics. Yeah. And then a year later, I had my other one done. So I had 2 ACLs very early in my career. But then I skied for another 12 years on World Cup, and I went to 3 World Championships, 2 Olympics, skied really, really well, was able to do everything. And 5 years ago and 3 years ago, to avoid having knee replacements, because I feel like the surgeons and the team doctors and things that I saw 5 years ago said I'm too old, too young for to having knee replacements and too old to do nothing about it. So I was in that grey area. So I actually had leg straightening surgery. So there were two really big surgeries. I had to have them done individually because it was 3 months non-weight bearing on crutches. So I had to be very compliant. And I did a lot of prehab. I planned it perfectly, had a great surgery, both of them, great rehab, and did all the right things. So I have very, very strong knees. I can do anything with them. They bend, they move, they are strong, and it almost seems like I haven't had anything done, which is really nice to be 48 years old and have a body that works. And that's what I love so much about what I do. I always talk about being fit, strong in your mind and your body, and having a body that just keeps up with what you want to do.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Let's move on to your business because you are very successful in business. You took out a big prize late last year, didn't you? For just share that. What was that about? Because you run I don't know what your fitness center is called, but it's in Jindabyne,
Yes.
and top accolade you got. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing actually. So my business is called High Country Fitness, and that's the bricks and mortar. That's the one that I started 19 years ago. So I retired. My retirement event was in February at the Olympics in 2006. And I have this funny saying, I always say I'm stamped urgent. And it came from one of my friends that I used to compete with, Maz, on the team. And she said to me, Manuela, you're always so stamped urgent. And I've taken that into my life because it seems to be how I am with life. And so I retired. I'd gotten home in March and I had my business open on the 6th of June. So it was just a couple of months later. And that was because I meticulously planned everything as I was an athlete the year before the Olympics because I knew it was going to be my retirement event. I'm a planner, I'm an organizer, and I wanted to be an athlete that transitioned smoothly out of being an athlete into real life. I didn't want to sort of be fumbling around, not knowing what to do and being lost, which is what many athletes unfortunately are faced with. And that's now another business venture that I do. And I work with athletes transitioning out of sport. So I love that side of things. But High Country Fitness was born June 2006. And it's grown over the years. It's done lots of renovations and it's expanded. And it had a recent 2 years ago, I expanded it. And I've even got compression technology. I've got massage guns. I've got an infrared sauna. We've got setups for athletes. We've got setups for anyone in town. We do everyday people to sporting teams. We do personal training. We do group training. We have a group fitness studio. We have a cycle studio, and we have a large gym floor space. So it's just grown into this amazing thing that I did see in my vision, but it's really come to life, which is just fabulous. And yeah, as you said, we won this major award last year for best independently owned gym in Australia, and that was nominated by someone and independently judged, and it was a really amazing moment.
That is fantastic. Wow, wow.
Mm.
Gosh, congratulations. That is really spectacular. It's making me think, behind any business or, high achiever or generally in life, we all have a why. And, you transitioning into your business and being able to now help other athletes. And, that's, I'm sure, wonderful work that you do because people, I know I live in New Zealand and, a lot of ex-sportsmen in particular will then develop mental health challenges, for example, because that's been their identity for so long and then they can't do it anymore. And so I'm sure you do some very valuable work there. And, listening to you talking about your long-term health and, how your body is working and your mum's still skiing and your dad, all your family skiing together, it's kind of making me think, gosh, well, you're definitely one of your whys is around longevity and all of that. But if I were to ask you, what is your why? I'm putting words into your mouth, but I'm so inspired. But what drives you now? What really gets you fired up and jumping out of bed in the morning?
It's so good. I love this because I have had such great role models with having fit, healthy parents. I'm very, very lucky. I mean, I have a 81-year-old mother, 89-year-old dad, and they take no pharmaceutical medication. None. So it's pretty inspiring. I am, as I said, I'm 48. I have plenty of people who come into my gym or come in for personal training after 40. And there's this stigma around after 40. It's like, oh, I'm getting older. I have this date of birth disease, or I have like my body doesn't move as well. Sure, yes, we can't ignore certain things that happen as we age. It's going to happen, okay? Especially if we've been athletic in our lives and joints and things might not move as well anymore. But I try to live every single day deliberately. And that's my sort of big thing that I love, living deliberately. So I mean that by making choices that serve me best. I'm not going to put bad fuel in my car. So I'm not going to put bad fuel into my body. I'm not going to put bad fuel into my mind. I am going to serve it with the most love and nourishment and things that I can to live longer, healthier. So for me, my big why became really apparent in the last sort of 10 years when I hear friends or people come into the gym going, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so fatigued. My body doesn't work anymore. I'm often asked, where do you get your energy from? I get that question, I mean, a couple of times a day. I'd love to have your energy. I'd love to bottle your energy and take it with me. If I could have your energy, I'd sell it. Like, I think my energy comes from all of it together. So I actually love life. I love life. I love what I do. I love, and it's hard work. It's really hard work. It's not just, don't just turn up and fleet around the gym. It's hard work. I have to work just as hard as anyone else to try and keep in shape myself. I trained early this morning to try and fit it in. You still have the same things, but for me, my why is to inspire others to live their fittest, healthiest, happiest, longest life, so that when they also get out of bed in the mornings, they can also be just excited. I think I have a lot of excitement in my life and a lot of energy, and just because I'm an excitable person. I love it. So I want others to have that. So my why is really about spreading that to anyone and everyone who'd want it in their life.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. I don't think people realize how much control they have over the way they're aging. I mean, I'm just about to turn 62, and 10 years ago I had low energy, I was achy and a little bit just down on myself. Life wasn't going so well, and I've completely turned that around, and physically building more lean muscle and really making sure that I have a diet that's rich in antioxidants and and also just living with purpose, like you said, living deliberately. I love what you said, and of course, stamped urgent. All of that will give urgency to anything. But let's talk about how much control people do have. We've met each other because we're working on a project together around Project Helix, which is a project about help empowering people to on a better health journey and to take back control of their health and their bodies and their minds and everything. And what's coming in the future is pretty exciting. What was it about? Let's talk about that. What is it about that really excites you? The future of health for everyone on the planet. What is possible, and what do you see, and what's exciting you?
Look, I mean, as I said before, everything is exciting for me. And I did just want to touch, before I answer this question, I did want to touch on, and I'm sure you could attest to this as well. I don't feel fabulous every single day. I don't like, there's going to be rough days as well. There's going to be external factors. There's going to be things, maybe sleep, maybe things like that, maybe, external factors that prevent feeling good every day. But if you're great days far outweigh your challenging days or your hard days. That's what we want to kind of do, is have more good days and more energy. More good energy breeds more good energy. And so I think if we go in with that mindset, it can help. But yeah, it's certainly not a given thing absolutely every day. but what excites me about the future of health, fitness, and longevity is that we have these things like Project Helix at our fingertips. And look, Project Helix is a fabulous name given to what we're working on with empowering ourselves of taking on what we can do better. And like we said, living daily, living deliberately, making good choices. So where I start with people, I think people as humans, we overcomplicate things. We overcomplicate everything, food, relationships, work, everything. We overcomplicate. So dumb it down, make it simple. So if you haven't done a lot of exercise in the past, don't go to the gym 5 days a week to start with. Go for a couple of walks. Start moving your body daily. Start feeling better. Start sleeping better. People say to me, oh, how do you, look, one of my things, okay, I'm trying to work on getting more sleep, okay? I don't get much sleep every night. I'm five hours, maybe 6 hours. But I sleep quality sleep. I am so exhausted when I go to sleep at night. I don't have any technology on at night. I jump in a bed, I sleep, and my alarm goes off at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and I'm ready to go. I've had a great night's sleep. One of my things is working on more sleep. But I know people say they don't sleep, but then I ask them what they do during the day, and they don't do any exercise. They sit at their desks. They don't do any exercise. So I sort of say to people, make small changes. Start going for little walks at lunchtime. Start going for a walk in the morning or at night. Doesn't have to be anything big. When you get up from your office chair, if you sit a lot during the day, stand up every hour. Do my favorite number 7. So get up and do 7 squats behind your chair and then sit back down. Things like that. If you're eating 3 meals and 2 snacks a day, really concentrate on 2 of those being really, really super healthy, or get some answers about what is healthy food and what's going to sustain your energy and make things better. So it's not overcomplicating things. It's making things simple and achievable, because goals need to be specific. They need to be, easy to attain. They need to be measurable, and you need to be able to stick to them. You need to make it that you can stick to them. But the second part of your question about what's coming, I'm so excited, and I know AI is everywhere and it's the buzzword, but AI is only going to help us. Humans are still needed. We are needed, okay? We are still going to be here with our energy, with everything. But if we can use AI to help us, empower us, make better decisions, make more informed decisions, because that's what it's about, then I only see it as a good thing and a powerful tool. So I am really looking forward to what's coming in our industry.
Absolutely. And, the phase 1 of Project Helix is this incredible device. And I know that you've just got yours. You're one of the first to get it.
Oh my God, I've got one.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? I mean, it's really, just for those who are listening, if I wear a wearable, a Garmin watch, which measures my sleep, my steps, my movement, my heart rate variability, and so on. And for the first time, there's a device that is able to, it's like an advanced biohacking tool. In fact, the most advanced biohacking tool in the world, which can actually measure what's going on a cellular level in your body for the first time. So what do you think about the Prism, and what do you see possible?
Look, I am so excited about this. For the first time ever, we have a fingerprint scanner that in 15 seconds tells us our internal wellness, our antioxidant level. So what we need to fight off disease and fight off all those nasties and be healthier and be a better version of us. And I just think it's going to help us so much as we progress with this technology. And then, down the track, we're going to have individualized supplements. I mean, none of us know how to supplement properly. None of us know what our bodies are missing. And I know in my industry, in the past, we have only ever been able to measure body fat with calipers, skin folds. We've been able to measure girth with our measuring tapes, weight on the scales. So all the things on the outside, but not the things on the inside. And as everyone always says, it's on the inside that counts.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Exactly. No, it's super exciting. And so you're integrating this device into your business to help people really understand what is, whether their supplements are working, like you said. It's a massive growing industry. People are taking all kinds of stuff and nobody really knows. There's so much guesswork out there. So you're integrating it into your business to empower your clients and
Absolutely. And I think the more knowledge that you can have, it
yeah,
just empowers you to make better decisions.
yeah,
So I want for all of our members, for all my community to be able to use this device and then have the information. What they choose to do with it is up to them. But having the information and having the correct information about what your body is doing is so powerful.
yeah, absolutely. You're such an inspiration to everyone as individuals and also, as business owners and in the fitness industry. And so if you are listening to this and you're thinking, wow, what is Project Helix? Then reach out and get in touch with Manuela or myself. But she will be able to guide you. If you run a fitness business, for example, she'll be able to guide you on how you can integrate the same technology to empower your clients and also to add money to your bottom line as well, which is great. We'll start to wind this down now, and I'm so grateful for your time. I really am. What words of wisdom would you give to someone who is looking to transform themselves, first of all, in their lives, but also possibly step into creating more freedom for themselves? In other words, could they find a business, for example, or they're starting a business, or they have a business, which, because business is tough, it really is, but it's, like you said, having your winning mindset and so on will really help. What words of wisdom would you give to someone who is looking to transition into that realm, or who is already there and who's feeling a bit meh in the new year? What words of wisdom can you give as a parting piece?
No worries. I think just start. People have all these ideas. You can have the best person with all these ideas and they don't execute it. Start, believe in yourself and do the legwork. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask people in the streets, do you think this will work? Do you think that'll work? But bottom line is believe in yourself, know that it'll work, back yourself. So that's one thing we didn't talk about yet. I have always backed myself. So there are disbelievers around, there are people, even when I started the business, I started just with a cycle studio. And I remember someone very close to me at the time, we were working together, very close to me. She said to me, do you really think we need a cycle studio in Jindabyne? Have you done the market research? And I said, no, I actually haven't done the market research, but the market research I have done is I've lived here in this town my entire life. We have a lot of mountain bikers, a lot of cyclists. It's my gut feel. And the minute I started, I didn't have enough bikes to fill. I had to put on more classes to get more people to be able to get bikes. So I think that, and we're still friends today, 20 years later, and we actually work together still. But it's funny how you can't let certain voices, whether they're in your own head, whether they're from friends or family, the voices or the negativity creep in. If you've got something and you believe in it and you see it working, see it, feel it, create it. Back yourself all the way. Know that it's hard. Go in there knowing it's hard. Business is not easy. It is fabulous. I love it, but it is not easy. So know that you're going in for that. Know that you're going to have to, be up late nights, early mornings. You're going to have to put out spot fires daily when you didn't have that planned. But back yourself, start, and keep going.
Yeah. And stamp it urgent.
Stamp urgent.
I love it. I love it. Manuela, what an absolute joy. I could talk to you all day long, but for the sake of time, I think we'll wrap it up. But maybe in the future we could continue this conversation. Thank you so much for really being able to share your wisdom with the world. And I'm so excited about what is to come. And congratulations again on your amazing, awards and accolades that you have achieved in your business and, in your sporting career as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so privileged to be on here. Thank you.